Hey everybody, good morning to me. It's Failed Entrepreneur up early again to put in some hours. Got my coffee. That's great content. And today, no, actually, on a serious note, saw an article yesterday in the news that the first cases of grocery store employees getting sick and dying from coronavirus is finally happening. I had done a video probably last week on kind of the surprising importance of grocery stores in like our infrastructure, social infrastructure, and how coronavirus has really made bare and laid apparent some vital cogs in our life that people maybe didn't suspect were as important as they were. Grocery stores, right? I mean, we got nurses, doctors on their front lines fighting coronavirus, and then you got grocery store employees and shelf stockers right up there with them, keeping the food banks open so we can go in there and not die and starve during this social quarantining we're doing, distancing. And not surprisingly, those people are, there's reports that some of those people are now getting sick and not with us anymore. I went to the grocery store over the weekend, a couple days ago. So I went when the panic I had gone before everything blew up because I was kind of ahead of the curve, I guess. Was really paying attention to what happened in China. So I stocked up on my toilet paper, canned goods, not a lot, but enough for me and my daughter before everything happened. So I'm still halfway through my toilet paper ration. Hopefully it lasts. But then it went kind of when the craziness hits, just to get some things we needed, like coffee creamer, really, right? And the store was packed. Tons of people in the grocery store, right? And it was not pandemonia, but it was you could tell people were stocking up because they were afraid. Then maybe went a little while after and was dead, right? Like hardly any. Well, I mean people, but not as crazy as I thought. Probably because there was not a lot of food, right? A lot of things were bare, and you could tell, if they had just gotten new food in, because they literally were just throwing the food on the shelf, not even taking it out of the cardboard containers, and it didn't last very long. Point is, what I'm trying to say is that not a lot of people have masks. Even these last couple days when I went, you had a couple people like they were wiping the carts down with sanitizer, and there's the cart person had a mask on, but the employees themselves, I didn't see many wearing masks. And why? I don't. You're in contact with a ton. I mean, that's the one place that everybody kind of has to go to, right? And to not be wearing masks. I don't know. It seemed. Now, I was not wearing one. Sorry, I guess I'm a hypocrite. Um, I should have. I don't have one. Could have made one. Didn't. So I guess I'm the hypocrite entrepreneur today. But they just weren't wearing any, and it kind of was like, man, that's a little strange. Then the news came out a couple days afterwards that they're starting to get sick. Like I said, it's not good. That's scary. I mean, it's common sense. It makes sense that it's going to happen sooner or later. But if this starts happening a lot, and if grocery stores aren't taking care of their people, and if grocery stores are vital, which they are, this could get ugly pretty fast, right? What am I trying to say? Is that I'm not putting a shelf stalker on the same line as like a first responder for 9/11 or something like that. But it's a similar circumstance, right? Because they have to go and do their job, and they're in a hazardous situation just because they're talking about a virus, a sickness. And some of them, like I said, are not with us anymore. And I expect a lot more probably too as well. If grocery store employees don't go in the morning and clock in for their minimum wage, stores don't open, and then we don't get food, and then people panic, and then you start to see ugliness on the streets. Do you see where I'm getting at here? And that's not a good situation, right? If if grocery store employees start getting sick in droves, right? I wouldn't come in if I had that job. That was my very first job. Very, very, very first job. I was a cart pusher for one day. Then I quit because I got another job somewhere else. But, so I have the faintest of experience. But it's just like, if you're getting minimum wage to go in there and stock, it's not worth it. Why would you do that, right? Don't come into work. It's not worth it's not, you're not getting paid that way. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you do that, right? It's a dangerous job right now. But it's a necessary job, because if they don't do it, then people don't. It's a weird catch-22. It puts them in a weird situation. Who would have thought? No offense. The lowly stock boy is, like, again, one of the most important people in society right now. But again, if they're getting sick, if they're not coming into work, if they're not being protected, right, with just basics, right? It may not matter if they want to come in or not. There just may not be anybody, or you may not be able to find people who want that job. I don't know. You got to take care of them. And, if we talk about like bank failures in the economy, like when a bank goes, what happens if like a grocery store goes under, right? What happens if a grocery store, like, there's food in there, but if they don't open the doors because there's no employees, what do people do? It could get really ugly really fast. So pay attention to that. If you are one of those people, again, God bless you, because no exaggeration. You are probably in the dangerous zone. You're in the hot spot when it comes to this right now. And for your lowly wages, I'm glad. I don't know. That's not an easy decision to make. I know some of you I don't have that choice. I have to go to work, and I get it. Take care of yourself. Mask up. Get gloves. Because like I said, that's the one place that, we social distance, but we are all hubbing at the grocery store. And, man, I really should have wore that mask now that I think about it. Be careful out there. I will say, and I've heard stories about this too, is you have a lot of grocery store employees demanding better pay, overtime, benefits, because again, they're making society function right now, and they need to be taken care of. And when this is done, in one day in the future, when coronavirus is all gone for now, they say it might be seasonal. Oh boy, how great would that be? I would not be surprised if they were smart. They would do this, is to get together, to demand grocery store employees to get paid, to get taken care of, right? Because again, they're literally risking their lives right now, again, to go put the spaghetti on the shelf, and they need to be taken care of. So like retirement, full health care, a huge bump in pay raise, benefits, paid, all that stuff. They could demand it, and I don't know how replaceable, if you don't like it, get another, I don't know, but like they deserve it. And it'd be interesting to see how they're treated afterwards. I don't know if we'll ever give them hero status like we do to police and nurses and firemen and stuff like that. But right now they earn it, because again, they're going, it's like Chernobyl in there, right? I mean, every day they're going in there, some have no protection, and putting their lives in jeopardy so we can sit home comfy in front of our Netflix, watch Tiger King, and eat Oreos all day, right? It's kind of whack. I remember, so I guess this is not the best analogy. I'll close with this, I guess. There was a McDonald's that closed in the news. Do you see that? Some employees strikes, or what's the past tense of strike? Striked, not stroked. Stopped. They didn't come in because it was unsafe working conditions there, right? Surprised it took so long. I'm good for them, but again, anyway, sorry, I get distracted easily. Ancient Greece, right? Persian invasion. If you know your history, it's not the 300 that stopped that. They just kind of were a speed bump. Really, it's the Battle of Salamis. It's like a naval battle that really ended the Persian threat. The Persian had a huge fleet of ships that were supplying and restocking the army. And if those ships were gone, that army starves and they're not supplied and they're kind of stranded. So that was like the Achilles heel of the Persian invasion. And it's that battle where the Greeks won. And it was really Athenian warships, not Spartan hoplites, who won that battle, naval battle at Salamis. However, these are trimarines they used, and they were oar-powered ships, right? And so these ships required hundreds of commoners, rowing and oaring these ships to make them function. And they saved Western civilization. They saved Greek society that day during that battle. Problem was, it was before Salamis. Athens is a democracy and people vote, and that's great. But no surprise, it was the elites that were allowed to vote at the time, not everybody. It was only the experienced and knowledgeable and wealthy and whatever. But now that these commoners saved their bacon, maybe they kind of I don't remember if they demanded it or they just out of respect. But they proved their worth, right? They saved the day, and so they got elevated afterwards, common people, to voting status because the Athenians realized they could not survive without the help and sacrifices of just regular normal people in their daily lives to protect Athens. The same maybe type of thing here. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Is that a grocery store employee should seek and deserve and get just compensation when this is all said and done, because they're like those row oars on the Athenian trimarines right now, right? They have risen to the occasion. They are heroes to all of us. Even that old chain smoking lady at my checkout counter, right? I mean, she's a hero right now for doing her job, and they deserve it and they need it. Will they get it? I don't know. Probably not. I'm a pessimist with that, but something should happen, because when this is all said and done, if they didn't come to work, imagine what would happen and what life would look like then. It would not be good. So anyway, keep an eye out for that. Hopefully it's a freak bit of news, but I doubt it. And that's a headline I don't want to see in the future. Grocery store employees dropping like flies because of the coronavirus. But I would not be surprised. I don't know. Stay safe. Be careful out there. And again, if you go to a grocery store, I just talked myself into it. That's like the worst place to be right now. So make sure you're protected, just even to go get your Captain Crunch or something. Okay. All right. It's early in the morning. I got things to do today. I know you do too. Fail entrepreneur, and I'll catch you later. Out.